For celebrities and politicians, the court of public opinion is largely more important than the actual court of law. Doesn't matter what you do, if you ruin your public perception, there ain't much coming back. This is InformOverload, and today we're talking about the top 10 celebrities who lost in the court of public opinion. Some of these picks for this list are pretty controversial, so I would love to hear your peaceful opinions down in the comments below. But coming in at number 10 is Will Smith. While no charges have been placed, the infamous slap that took place at the 94th Academy Awards left an echo that Will Smith will most likely take a long time to recover from. For anyone who is unaware, during Chris Rock's presentation for Best Documentary Feature, the comedian made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's bald head, referring to her as G.I. Jane. For some background, Jada had been shaving her head since 2021 due to alopecia or hair loss. Will Smith did not take too kindly to this joke after seeing his wife's reaction. He quite confidently waltzed up onto the stage and slapped the heck out of Chris Rock, which he followed with a pretty iconic line about keeping his wife's name out of his mouth. While there have been a few who have come to Will Smith's defense, noting that he has not been having the greatest time mentally and personally, which likely resulted in the poor decision making, no one has claimed that the slap was truly warranted, and the slow apology that followed really did a number on Smith's popularity, not to mention his wife's popularity as well, as she seemed fairly unfazed by the whole situation. It remains to be seen how well the Oscar winner will bounce back from this one. As for me though, while I definitely do not agree with his actions, I do believe there is a lot going on below the surface for Will Smith and his marriage, and I can't help but feel some kind of sympathy for the man. The slap was still uncalled for though, but hey. Here we are. In at number 9 is George Bush. Kind of completely different. In 2003, George Bush made the very big decision to invade Iraq, which resulted in a war that caused the passing of thousands of Americans and Iraqis, and arguably just led to more and more subsequent wars. One of the largest problems with this, other than starting a war that no one wanted, was that the American public were led to believe that the country they were to invade was in possession of large hidden stockpiles of incredibly powerful WMDs that threatened the world. But it turns out that later, the United States Senate officially released the Senate report of pre-war intelligence on Iraq, which concluded that many of the Bush administration's pre-war statements about Iraqi WMDs were misleading and not supported by underlying intelligence. So essentially, George Bush seemed to have lied his way into starting a war that many people have called a massive mistake. Add on to that the public perception of Bush as a bit of an idiot and his reactions to both Hurricane Katrina and the Great Recession, and you've got a president who is not fondly remembered by many Americans. In at number 8, Cole and Savannah LaBrant. On a less serious note, let's talk about YouTubers who put out clickbaity titles. I'm sure this will go over very smoothly with all you lovely viewers. Cole and Savannah LaBrant own a family vlogging California-based YouTube channel where they vlog details about their lives with their pretty adorable family. But they began to lose some serious credit and fan love with 2 separate videos. In August of 2018, the couple uploaded a video titled, in all caps, obviously, "A giant fire makes us evacuate our home," which was later renamed to "We left our house because of fires in California." This took place when wildfires in California were running pretty rampant, and the video got them quite a bit of sympathy from their fans and subscribers. Eventually though, some internet sleuths did some digging into the circumstances of the video and learned that their home was not actually inside the evacuation area for the wildfires, and on top of that, their neighbors even came out to say that the couple's home wasn't even in danger at all, exploiting the serious wildfires for views. Yikes. But then in 2021, the couple posted another video with their daughter in the hospital, and the title of the video read, "She got diagnosed with cancer." But it turns out that halfway through the video, they revealed that she didn't actually have cancer at all, and the whole thing was just a health scare. Obviously, they were slammed pretty hard for the fact that they just used their daughter's potential cancer as a clickbait title for their videos. Number 7. Bow Wow. Sometimes, probably more often than we realize, celebrities create their own publicity. I guess it's understandable, if not a little pathetic. In 2017, rapper Bow Wow posted a picture on his Instagram of a private jet with the caption reading that he was taking a jet from Georgia to New York to promote a TV show he had upcoming. Not too long after the flight, a picture began circulating around the internet of the rapper on a commercial flight with the poster saying that Bow Wow Wow was on his commercial flight to New York and calling out the fact that Bow Wow was saying that he was taking a private jet instead. But then, on top of that, people figured out that the picture Bow Wow had posted on his Instagram was actually taken directly from a Florida transportation company's website. So while the rapper completely denied the claims, I don't think there was much chance of convincing anyone that he had not totally pretended to be living a much more luxurious lifestyle. Dude, times are rough for everybody. Commercial flights are still expensive. We ain't gonna judge you. Or at least we wouldn't have. But then you did this and you doubled down on it later on the Breakfast Club radio show, and then the next year you paid fans to chase you down so you could post a video as if people were that crazy for Bow Wow. It's just not a good look. Not a good look, not a good time. And at number 6 is Amber Heard. Almost everyone and their moms has heard something about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp this past year. In 2018, an op-ed written by Heard in the Washington Post essentially called out her ex-husband, Johnny Depp, as someone who physically mistreated her, which resulted in a huge negative career impact for Depp. In response, he sought out a $50 million defamation suit, which Heard countered with a $100 million defamation suit against him, saying that his lawyers had claimed her allegations were false on 3 separate occasions. The publicly streamed trial that followed aired out incredibly embarrassing details about the couple, and while Depp himself handled the trial with humor and believability, Heard definitely did not. Clips of her on the stand and in the courtroom circulated around the internet, showcasing what many deemed to be an utterly laughable performance. Whether what she was actually saying was true or not fell to the wayside, as the way she was saying it was incredibly unbelievable. Contrasted with the way Depp behaved in court, many people found it hard to find any sympathy for the actress, and even the jurors found her incredibly not credible. While the jury found both parties guilty of defamation, Depp was awarded around 7 times more in damages and walked away with a relatively restored reputation, while Heard may find it hard to ever recover. Number 5. R. Kelly. Now, before we start this one, R. Kelly has indeed been sentenced to a whole whack of time in jail, but for a long time, the R&B singer, famous for his songs like Ignition, kinda just kept getting away with it while the public opinions of him continued to plummet as it should have. So, what has he done? Well, I actually can't say a lot of it on YouTube, but in 1994, he secretly married a 15-year-old singer when he was 27 years old. Then, in 1996, he was sued for emotional distress for a 3-year relationship he had with another 15-year-old when he was 24. Then, in 2001, he was sued by a 17-year-old intern who said that he, quote, tried to control every aspect of her life, including who she would see and where she would go. Then, of course, there was the big one. In 2002, a video of Kelly and yet another person under the legal age was anonymously sent to the Chicago Sun-Times, which resulted in charges that took 6 years to come to trial and eventually resulted in a non-guilty charge. And it keeps going. Thanks to a lack of evidence, Kelly eluded 12 counts of images he had produced with underage individuals in 2002 to 2004. In 2017, there were allegations of a cult that 6 women claimed to have been trapped in by the singer, which was followed by more and more victims who approached the press, and all the while, Kelly seemed to avoid any real substantial repercussions, except for the fact that the entire world found him to be an absolutely disgusting human being. Let's thank our lucky stars that things have finally come back to bring this guy down. And number 4, Woody Allen. Woody Allen was at one time one of the biggest voices in cinema. He had won Academy Awards for directing Annie Hall and Hannah and Her Sisters, but now his reputation is smeared by an array of disturbing allegations. Woody Allen had a 12-year-long relationship with actress Mia Farrow, helping to raise her 7 children and adopting 2 more. But that relationship came to a complete stop when Mia had discovered a stack of pictures of one of her adopted children, 21-year-old Soon-Yi Previn, in the 50-year-old Allen's apartment. This was followed by Dylan Farrow, who was adopted by the couple, telling her mother about another time that Allen had acted inappropriately with her, which was also doubled down on by a babysitter who was present at the time. Holding a press conference to defend himself against the very serious allegations, Woody Allen stated, quote, "This is an unconscionable and gruesomely damaging manipulation of of innocent children for vindictive and self-serving motives. So he's suggesting that Farrow had made Dylan lie to attack Allen for his relationship with Soon-Yi. Now, after a lengthy court case, the state attorney in charge stated that he had probable cause to charge Woody Allen, but he chose not to. Apparently, this was to avoid damage that the prison sentence would cause for the adopted daughter, which kinda makes absolutely no sense. This trial, plus the fact that he actually married Soon-Yi, has completely wrecked his career. Movies that he has put out since, while being sometimes actually good movies, are completely overshadowed by what he has been accused of doing and what he has actually done. It's just kinda creepy. And at number 3 is Hillary Clinton. When it comes to Democratic presidential nominee and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, her controversy comes from her emails. You see, instead of using the secured official state email servers, Clinton had used her own personal email server for business communications while she was the Secretary of State, sending and receiving around 15,000 classified and non-classified emails that the FBI had to carefully look through was not a good time for Hillary, and it directly violated the State Department protocol. This resulted in many of those in opposition of her trying their darndest to have her indicted. The FBI eventually determined that it was an incredibly irresponsible mistake, but that no actual damage was done. You can probably imagine the amount of damage this did to her reputation though, especially when it came time for her to run for the presidency against Donald Trump, who, unsurprisingly, made the emails one of the biggest weapons to use against Hillary in his campaign. Kind of a rookie mistake there, honestly. Makes it kind of wonder how history might have unfolded differently if she had just used the proper email servers. And number 2 is J.K. Rowling. While I think that free speech is incredibly important, I do also think having the intelligence to use it wisely is incredibly important for a celebrity. And for the love of all that is holy, I think we need to avoid Twitter for opinions. In June of 2020, J.K. Rowling made a number of controversial tweets on her Twitter account and a lengthy and slightly weird article on her website all about her views on the trans community and what being a woman means. Her initial tweet dealt mainly with the word choice for an article about the post-COVID-19 world for people who menstruate. But when her tweet received quite a bit of backlash, she did not back down. In fact, she doubled down, and the ongoing Twitter battle of words and her lengthy essay continued to drive a wedge between her fans, other celebrities, and pretty much set her reputation and career on fire. She was even excluded from the 2022 HBO Harry Potter 20th Anniversary Return to Hogwarts television special. She was barred from a special anniversary for films based on the books that she wrote. That's how badly she ruined her own career. And in at number 1, it's O.J. Simpson. You had to have known that this was gonna make the list. The 1995 trial of O.J. Simpson for the passing of his wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend, waiter Ronald Goldman, is still to this day one of the most infamous celebrity trials ever, and that's largely to do with the fact that he was acquitted. All the evidence in this trial of the century pointed directly to O.J. and his past actions against his wife, including a 1989 charge for actually attacking Nicole, seemed to definitely prove his guilt. The trial itself was a huge deal. Everyone involved, from the judges to lawyers, became a celebrity just for being there. The trial was and remains an obsession for so many people, with movies, documentaries, and books going into great detail all about exactly why O.J. Simpson was the person responsible for the passing of his wife, and yet, to the shock of every single person who watched, the jury found him not guilty. But in the court of public opinion, he was pretty much done for. Fortunately, he was found guilty in a wrongful death civil suit that meant he owed $33 million, and then, even later, he was actually sent to jail for 33 years for another crime. It's not the outcome some may have wanted, but at least karma came back around for Simpson eventually. But that's all the time we've got now. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll be sure to see you all next time. Thanks for watching InformOverload, keep it real, and peace out.